to control your destiny, don't you? Every choice, every action painstakingly measured, rehearsed for the invisible audience within your mind. But tell me, when did control become your prison? And how long before you admit you've lost the key? I invite you to stay. Not because I want to entertain you, but because, by the end, you'll understand the mask you cherish is suffocating the part of you that might have been free. Only the courageous ever dare remove it. Are you one of them, or just another spectator in your own life? Walk down any busy street, watch closely. Dozens, hundreds, thousands of masks, smiled for strangers, hardened for rivals, softened for lovers. Each carefully sculpted, endlessly rehearsed, until the true face beneath is all but forgotten. Is that not the tragedy of adulthood? The longer you perform, the harder it is to remember who deserves the applause. What about you? Which mask slipped last? And what did you reveal to the world, or did anyone even notice? Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine you're alone in a silent room, every mirror draped in black velvet. There is no one to impress, no one to suspect. Who are you then? Or have you rehearsed so many faces that you've forgotten the original? Modern life demands control. You're rewarded not for authenticity, but for composure. Job interviews, first dates, funerals, each one a stage. The stakes never explicitly named, but always, inescapably, life-altering. The cost? Each layer of control dulls something vital. The impulse to rebel, the instinct to feel, the ability to bend without breaking. Why is it, then, that the tightly wounded man always snaps while the carefree child simply cries and moves on? The answer: masks may shield you, but they also suffocate. They preserve image, but not soul. Perhaps you believe you're above this, that the person you show the world is the real you. Conviction, discipline, pride, yes, these are fine words. But let me propose a test. When your plans unravel, when your composure evaporates and all eyes are on your exposed, trembling self, do you still recognize what you see? Or do you scramble to build a new mask, less flawed, less revealing? The world never teaches you to unmask. It whispers that perfection is control, and control is safety. But safety is anesthesia. To live numb is not to live at all. It is simply to persist. That is why those who most crave control are the ones for whom its loss is intolerable. They say power corrupts, but it merely reveals. The more you must control, the more chaos you fear exists within. Recall a moment you truly lost control. Maybe you wept at a funeral, lashed out in frustration, confessed a secret you thought you'd carry to your grave. Was there panic, or if you're honest, a kind of relief? The mask cracks. For an instant, you breathe free. Then comes the shame, the need to rebuild, more tightly and convincingly. Comment below. Has there ever been a moment when you let it all slip and, against your expectations, felt lighter? Or do you fear that day, as most do? Your silence, of course, is its own answer. I've met many masters of control, politicians, executives, even teachers and loving parents, all secretly terrified of the day their careful empire unravels. They surround themselves with rules, rituals, allies, a kingdom of glass and paper. All it takes is one trembling hand, one unforeseen question, and the entire edifice collapses. Manipulation is simple. Introduce uncertainty. Watch what the desperate do to restore their mask. And yet, they never notice who is moving the pieces, because the performance absorbs them entirely. Power is never about the strongest mask. It's about the one who sees through them all. But imagine, just for a moment, a life where you no longer need to perform, where your hands don't shake, your voice doesn't falter, because there's nothing left to hide. Where loss, failure, humiliation, they become passing weather, not existential storms. You're still here, listening, curious, aren't you? About what happens if the mask slips just a bit further. Think, when everyone else clings to their routines, terrified by the thought of losing control, what does it feel like to walk freely among them, knowing you no longer fear chaos, nor crave their approval? This is where true autonomy begins. Every rule imposed, every mask worn for others' comfort, becomes nothing more than a suggestion you can choose to follow or ignore. Imagine stepping into any room, any situation, unburdened by the need to perform. The world grows silent, possibilities multiply, and every interaction becomes a canvas for your own design. Most will mistake this for arrogance. In truth, it's simply the absence of fear, a liberation open only to those daring enough to discard the final mask and face themselves as they are. This does not mean chaos. True freedom is not dissolution. It is the quiet certainty that you are more than the sum of your masks. That control, real control, comes not from concealment, but from the willingness to be fully seen, even in your emptiness. Here's what most never discover. I have no mask. I simply stopped pretending there was anything permanent behind the faces I wore. That is my advantage, my weapon, my consolation. If tomorrow I must be someone else, I will seamlessly, effortlessly, because I am not frightened of the abyss under my own skin. Would you dare surrender your last mask? Most won't, and that's why they're transparent to me. To those who do, who accept their emptiness and walk onward, I offer a rare, subtle respect. You tell yourself you're in control, that your performance is flawless, but the biggest lies are always told in the privacy of your own mind. When the final mask slips, will you confront the void, or will you scramble to cover what you never understood? Watch the next video if you wish to learn how I unravel manipulation itself, but only if you're ready to lose one more illusion. Most will choose comfort, but comfort is the slowest poison of all.